Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife and welcome back to our Sunday video. And you will instantly notice this looks a little bit different than most Sundays.
Correct.
We're not in our kitchen, we're not cooking, but we are still talking about food related content.
Yes.
Because Sherri Beth, it is summer. It is road trip season. It is summer vacation season.
Travel time.
And as we are filming this, tomorrow we are actually starting our trip to Southeast Alaska, to Juneau and to Skagway.
Yep.
And so the question is, what the heck snacks do you bring with you? And so we thought in this Sunday video, that's exactly what we do. We talk about road trip snacks, both keto and non-keto, that we love to bring when we travel.
These are not just snacks that we came up with. We actually collaborated with Miss Auburn and got some of her travel snack ideas as well. So these are kind of a mishmash of all three of us.
Absolutely. Some things we love, some things that she loves, and kind of a variety of things.
Yep.
Now, these snacks are designed for, I would say, a day in the car, a day on the airplane, a day on a boat, maybe.
Any kind of travel.
That's right. I'm looking around, and most of these are things that you don't need to refrigerate. 'Cause Sherri, that's kind of important.
Yes, especially when you're like on a long road trip or a long boat ride. You don't necessarily have access to a cooler.
Yep.
So most of these snacks are things that you don't need to keep refrigerated.
Yeah, shelf stable is important when you're traveling, and most of these are that. And so I think we're just going to kind of jump into this. First, let's start with, you want to start with keto or non-keto first?
Let's start with keto because most of the things are keto.
Most of the things are keto. We try to do a good job with that. And so some of our favorite keto snacks, I'm going to start right here. These are my favorite. Get these at Costco. I think they're called Lil Landjagers. That's probably not at all how it's pronounced, but that's how I pronounce it. They're just little meat sticks.
Meat sticks.
And they don't need to be refrigerated. These are good until like November. They still have 3 more months. And I love, when I go on flights, I'll have a little Ziploc baggie of these.
They're so easy to eat. Yeah.
I love them. So that would be my first thing. Just like little shelf stable meat snacks. And along with that, you can get like, this is pepperoni.
Giant meat stick.
A giant, just, can you imagine sitting on the fridge like, no, just not, just like gnawing on this. As a whole, that's not what I would recommend doing. Although maybe people wouldn't want to sit by you and you'd have the free seat next to you then.
That's true, that's true.
So there is that.
They're like, man, can I move?
But things like this pepperoni don't have to be refrigerated.
Correct.
Just cut it up, put it in a bag. I love stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things that you bring as far as snacks, I don't want to say they're not very filling, but there's not a lot of protein. They're just not really filling.
Yeah.
And so for me, having some meat options, I think helps.
Next we have these. It is Snack Club Raw Keto Mix. It's just kind of a whole bunch of different kinds of nuts and seeds and that kind of stuff. And so very easy to take on any kind of travel, anything. It closes and so it's nice and handy.
Yeah, I know that like trail mix, that kind of stuff is a super popular, hiking, road trip, travel snack. And so I love that you can now find keto like pre-packaged things.
Yes.
So we actually found that at Walmart.
Yeah.
If you are looking. Another thing that we really love to bring are something like a keto cracker.
Yep.
Because you can bring peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Which is
in
amazing.
Little cups that are so easy to travel with. They're tiny. And you can just dip your crackers and your carrots and anything else you want to. Also,
I like carrots on trips because I feel like a carrot can stay out of the fridge for hours.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And it's okay, yeah.
It's like if you have an apple and an apple sits out for 12 hours.
If it sits out for 2 hours, it's kind of gross.
You might die.
Well, you won't die, but it's gross.
This, totally fine.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You can also just eat this with a spoon. Or just your finger.
Which we've done before, without a doubt. The little peanut butter cups are so delicious.
Yeah.
But also when you're traveling, you kind of want some sweets.
Yeah.
Right? You don't just want things like this. And so as far as sweets, Sherri Beth, some like sugar-free options.
Yes.
If you're trying to stick to keto.
They're semi-keto.
Semi-keto-ish.
Gray area keto.
True.
We have Jolly Ranchers. Albanese.
Sugar-free gummy bears.
And Adam is most excited about this.
The sugar-free Reese's.
Yep.
Heck yes. And so just things like that. Find the kind of snacks that you love, the things that you go to, and then toss them in your carry-on. In fact, that's one of the things that I remember this most for our Paris trip.
Yes.
Because you put together basically an entire hors d'oeuvre plate of snacks to have the entire 9.5-hour flight.
Yes, because it was a 9.5-hour flight. And so it was just so easy. We just used like a gallon Ziploc baggie and just filled it with a whole bunch of stuff and then threw it in a carry-on and then pulled it out and grabbed stuff when we were hungry. So
and it was so nice.
Yes.
Next keto item, it goes a little bit along with like the raw nut mix.
Yep.
Macadamia nuts.
Some of my faves.
What would be your favorite like nut?
Honestly, probably macadamia.
I think that's where I'm at.
They're so good.
Yeah, love these. So just a bag of macadamia nuts to snack on. Like, really love that. And one of the things with keto that I think you guys know, if you follow us on Instagram or you watch our videos, we do a lot of charcuterie boards. Meats, cheeses, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
A lot of that stuff is good. Obviously, some stuff, the longer it sits out, gets not so good.
Sure.
But I love bringing a little bagged charcuterie board. In fact, earlier this year, I did a secret trip that very few people know about. And I was traveling almost 20 hours.
Right.
And I wanted to stick to keto. I had never done that.
Yeah.
And it was still at a time when things were very shut down, so finding food in the airport was difficult. And so basically what I brought with me was like a gallon Ziploc bag of keto snacks.
Yeah.
I brought meats, I brought cheeses, I brought a lot of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it got me through an entire day of travel, and I got to stick to keto, which I thought was great.
Yes.
But Sherri,
Yeah.
when we travel, a lot of times we say keto, bye-bye.
Yes.
Because we want to enjoy the food wherever we're going.
Yeah. And yeah, so I have a go-to travel snack. I have two, actually. We have one represented here, neither of which are keto.
Yep.
But they're always, for whatever reason, I really don't ever eat these unless we're traveling.
I want to talk about this one because this is interesting to me.
It's weird, and I don't know why.
What is it?
Gummy worms.
Specifically
Gummy worms. So
but only when you're traveling.
But really only when I'm traveling. I love gummy bears kind of any time. Gummy worms when I'm traveling. And I don't know, like it doesn't make sense. I don't know. But also combos.
You love combos. Combos are your road trip snack.
Love combos. And I never have them. I'm never just like sitting at home like, you know what I want for a snack right now is combos. Never.
Like on a Saturday afternoon?
But anytime we get in the car, I'm like, I want combos.
That's so strange.
So weird.
Some other like go-to non-keto snacks. Some kind of little cookies. These are the little Biscoffs. And Auburn actually mentioned these. So a lot of airlines, I had them first on Delta. I know Alaska does them now as well. A lot of airlines give these out and I'm so happy. Because Sherri's not a huge Biscoff cookie fan.
So he always gets
So
mine.
I get hers. And so I get to have like 4 Biscoff cookies per flight.
Yeah.
And I love it.
He's pretty stoked.
I'm very stoked.
Like,
yeah, she doesn't even open them and try them. And I'm like, yes, I get 4 cookies.
Yeah.
But also, there is something that I love. My cheese balls.
I would just like to mention that you just got this.
Okay, I feel accused. And it's been me and Auburn.
You cannot blame me.
It's been mostly me. Auburn just said,
You cannot blame me.
You cannot blame me. I blame Missy. I bet Missy's getting it with her little paw, getting out cheese balls. But a bag of these are so good. Here's my problem with these, and let's talk about this for a second. One of my favorite things about, one of my favorite road trip snacks are Cheetos. But then you get like the orange steering wheel. It's gross. And so I try to avoid them, but if I'm on a plane, I'll do that. But it actually leads me into some non-food items that you need when packing for a road trip or travel. The first thing, wet wipes.
Yes.
Right?
To clean up those cheesy fingers.
To clean up the orange fingers, to clean up the sticky fingers, when you have peanut butter smeared on your face, right? And so I love a pack of wet wipes. Yep. But also a refillable water bottle. I don't know what I just tried to say. Water bottle. Yes. That's something we both bring.
Always. Yes.
Yep. And so every time before we get on the plane, we find a refilling station at an airport, fill it up. And I don't know, I drink more water on flights and when I travel than times they come by. And so, so they give me
I do too. I really don't hardly ever drink water. I'm terrible about that. But when we're traveling, I'm like guzzling water. Yep. And I think especially planes, they just dehydrate me.
Totally.
So I just feel thirsty all the time.
Yep. So on this trip, when we leave tomorrow, I know all 3 of us will have our refillable water bottles I said it correct that time.
You did, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Have them with us. Another thing that I like to bring is just some kind of an insulated lunch bag or just a little tote, especially if you're bringing things that need to be kind of cooled and chilled.
Yeah.
If you're bringing carrots, if you're bringing apple slices, if you're bringing cheese or anything else, toss an ice pack in there. Oh, you guys, our executive producer off camera. My gosh, she's the best. Something like this.
Yes.
Love this. Space up top, but then at the bottom,
Little insulated area.
little insulated area filled with snacks. Toss an ice pack in there, and then honestly, all day long, even if you have things like carrots and apples or cheeses or meats that need refrigerated, they're gonna be fine in there.
Yes, and it just brought to mind something else that we will probably need to be able to keep cool.
What's that?
My injections.
Okay, this is a whole new world for us.
It's a whole new world, and we have yet to actually have to travel with one of my injections.
Yep.
But it's probably going to happen sometime because I have to do these monthly.
Totally.
And so we're going to have to be able to keep it cool en route to wherever we are going.
And so we have to think about that.
Yeah.
But one thing we've also had to think about, and I've noticed this in traveling, you know, pre-COVID, any airport you went to, it seemed like things were always open.
Yeah.
Well,
And stocked.
Yeah, and stocked. That's right. Yeah. And the last couple times I've flown, that hasn't always been the case.
Like half the restaurants aren't open, or they have really weird hours.
Or long waits because there's not as many things open.
There's 4 open in the entire airport,
Yeah, and so I think bringing some amount of snack food to have on hand is great in the event you find yourself in a place and nothing's open.
Yeah.
Or you can't get in, at least you're not going to get hangry and murder.
Well,
right? And that's, at the end of the day, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Don't get hangry and murder. But these are some of the things that we bring.
Yeah.
And I want to know from you guys in the comments below, if you're going to be traveling for a full day, whether it's by land, by air, or by sea, what are... That's pretty good. Thank you. Thanks. I want to know, what are your go-to snacks? What are the things that you always pack? You know what? I forgot.
Do you have any weird ones like gummy worms that you only eat when you're traveling?
I forgot one.
Uh-oh.
And it's a big one.
Okay.
And it's actually one that I'm glad I didn't forget, because this is all mostly like snack kind of stuff. But over a course of a long day of travel, there's only so much snack stuff you can have before you just need something with substance.
Yes.
And so as we were talking about things you bring while traveling, it was so funny because Sherri and I are both just like gummy worms, macadamia nuts, meat swords. Swords. It's a meat sword. Auburn was like, sandwiches. And we were like, what? And she's like, sandwiches.
It was so funny because we were like, what would you take with you in a car for like a travel day? And she's like, sandwiches. And then we said, what would you take on a plane? Sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
What would you take on a boat?
Sandwiches.
We were like, okay.
But honestly, thinking about it,
it makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And I think about when I've been going like out backpacking, like for long periods of time, or camping. The food that I always bring is peanut butter and honey sandwiches.
Yeah,
that's what's always in my backpack, because peanut butter and honey doesn't have to be refrigerated. And I can toss 5 of them in my pack and go for 3 days. And so I actually think that sandwiches is such a good idea because it gives you something with like a little bit of substance that's not just, you know, 12 hours of cheese balls. You can actually have a sandwich in there to round out with your meat sword.
Oh, okay.
This is mostly just fun to play with. I'm not even sure I want to eat it. I just kind of want to keep it.
Okay.
So, friends, down below, what are the things that you love?
Yeah.
What are your go-to travel road trip snacks? Again, we're going to be bringing a lot of this stuff with us over the next couple days. In fact, probably tonight or tomorrow morning, we will pack this stuff up, get it ready for our trip. So, friends, we love you guys. A very different Sunday video, but hopefully helpful.
Still foodie. Still
foodie, and hopefully helpful as you guys are getting ready for your summer road trips, your summer vacations, and yeah, let us know in the comments below. So friends, we love you guys, and we'll see you on the next LeggLife video.